Welcome to my channel, Old Valuable Chiller, your ultimate destination for coin collectors, numismatic enthusiasts, and anyone interested in the fascinating world of old coins. Today, we're diving into the rich history, design, specifications, and hidden value of the 1994 Canadian 1-cent coin, also known as the 1994 Canadian penny. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, this video will give you a comprehensive look into everything you need to know about this tiny yet iconic piece of Canadian currency. The 1994 Canadian 1-cent coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint and continues to hold a special place in the hearts of collectors, not just in Canada but worldwide. Though it's no longer in circulation since Canada phased out the penny in 2012, the 1-cent coin from 1994 remains a valuable part of numismatic history. Its small size might make it seem insignificant, but as we explore its background, mintage numbers, metal composition, design features, and collector demand, you'll see why the 1994 penny is still talked about among coin enthusiasts. Let's begin with the specifications. The 1994 Canada 1-cent coin is made of copper-plated zinc, which was the standard material used between 1992 and 1996. This change from pure copper to copper-plated zinc was due to the rising cost of copper, and it also made the coin lighter. The coin weighs about 2.35 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Its thickness is approximately 1.45 millimeters, and the edges are plain, without any reading. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by artist Dora de Pedery Hunt. This portrait was introduced in 1990 and used until 2003. It shows a mature Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, with the inscription Elizabeth II DG Regina, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This portrait is a crucial aspect of identifying the coin, as it helps pinpoint the time period, especially for those comparing different penny versions. Flipping to the reverse side, the coin displays the iconic maple leaf twig, which has become synonymous with Canadian pennies. This design was created by G. E. Kruger Gray and has appeared on the Canadian 1-cent coin since 1937. It features two maple leaves on the same stem, a symbol of Canadian pride, unity, and nature. Above the maple leaves, you'll see the word Canada, and below, the face value 1 cent along with the year of mintage, which is 1994. Just beneath the leaves is the designer's initials kilogram. This reverse design is so well loved that even after the penny was discontinued, people still recognize and cherish this artwork. In terms of mintage, over 624 million 1-cent coins were struck in 1994, which makes this a common year in terms of volume. However, not all 1994 pennies are created equal. While most were circulated and show signs of wear, some coins remain in uncirculated condition, and those can fetch a premium from collectors, especially if they feature mint luster, strong strikes, and minimal surface marks. Additionally, a smaller number of 1,994 coins were produced in proof-like and specimen sets for collectors, and those versions are usually more pristine, with mirror-like fields and frosted devices. Even though this coin is common, there are some known errors and varieties that collectors look out for. Examples include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and even plating blisters due to the copper coating separating from the zinc core. These minting errors, though rare, can dramatically increase the value of a 1994 penny. So, if you have one, be sure to inspect it closely under magnifying glass. Now, let's talk about the value. A circulated 1994 Canadian 1-cent coin usually has a value of about 1 to 5 cents, primarily based on metal content and general collector interest. However, uncirculated coins, especially those graded as Mint State 65 or higher, can be worth $1 to $5, depending on demand. Proof-like and specimen coins are typically valued between $2 to $10, and error coins, depending on rarity and type, can go for significantly more, sometimes even $50 or higher if the error is dramatic and well-preserved. It's also worth noting that the historical context adds some charm to the 1994 penny. Canada in the early 90s was undergoing many changes, and coins like the 1 cent served not just as currency, but as cultural symbols. The 1994 penny reflects a period when the economy was stabilizing, and Canada was modernizing its coinage. Though it was still being widely used in everyday transactions, the transition to cheaper production materials hinted at the coin's eventual phase-out. So, when you hold a 1994 Canadian penny, you're holding a piece of transitional monetary history. Many collectors try to put together full sets of Canadian pennies, and the 1994 version is a necessary addition to complete any collection from the modern era. If you're building a year-by-year set, or trying to gather all variations of Canadian cents from different mints and years, the 1994 penny is an essential puzzle piece. Plus, since many people overlook common date coins, finding high-quality specimens in circulation is becoming increasingly difficult as time goes on. If you're wondering where to find these coins today, they can still be found in old piggy banks, jar collections, or from estate sales. Many coin dealers also have bulk Canadian 1-cent coins for sale, where you might come across a clean 1994 example. But remember, condition matters. A coin with full detail, original shine, and no corrosion is far more collectible than a worn or damaged one. And always store your coins properly, in non-PVC holders or acid-free flips, to avoid further deterioration. Now, let's answer a frequently asked question. Should you keep your 1994 Canadian pennies? The answer is yes. Even though the coin may not have a high monetary value today, it holds historical value, educational value, and potential future collector interest. As more people become interested in collecting Canadian coins and as physical coins become increasingly rare in daily life, even the common 1994 penny could become more desirable. Another point worth discussing is the cultural significance of the penny in Canadian society. For decades, it was the most basic unit of money, used in everything from small purchases to exact change, but now it exists only in memory and in coin collections. The 1994 penny, like many others, represents the last era of traditional cash-based commerce before the digital age. That nostalgic factor alone makes it a coin worth keeping. So, whether you're a new collector looking to build your Canadian 1-cent coin set or a seasoned numismatist evaluating your existing collection, the 1994 Canadian penny has a lot to offer. It's a beautiful coin with historic relevance, striking design, and a place in both Canadian culture and coin collecting history. Keep your eyes open for mint errors, aim for high-grade examples, and never underestimate the power of a so-called common coin. Next up, the Canadian 2005 1 cent from Canada. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of Canadian coinage, with a full 20-minute exploration of the 2005 Canadian 1 cent coin. Whether you're a collector, investor, or just someone curious about what makes this tiny coin so interesting, you're in the right place. Let's begin with the basics. The 2005 Canadian 1 cent coin, commonly known as the 2005 Canadian penny, is part of a long-running tradition of 1 cent coins in Canada. Even though it seems like a simple piece of copper-plated steel, there's so much history, detail, and numismatic value packed into this small coin. The obverse side of the 2005 Canadian penny features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by Susanna Blunt. This particular effigy, introduced in 2003, shows the Queen without a crown and marked a shift in how Canadian coins depict the monarch, presenting a more modern and realistic look. This design is still used on Canadian coins today, and in 2005, it had only recently been introduced, making this penny one of the early coins to carry this portrait. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic maple leaf twig design, created by G.E. Kruger Gray, which has been used on the Canadian 1 cent since 1937. The image shows two maple leaves on a single twig and is one of the most recognizable symbols in Canadian coinage. The year 2005 is clearly shown beneath the maple leaves, along with the word Canada and the coin's denomination, 1 cent. Now let's talk about the composition of the 2005 Canadian penny. It's made from 94% steel, 1.5% nickel, and 4.5% copper plating. This composition was part of a cost-saving measure that started in the year 2000 when the Royal Canadian Mint transitioned from bronze and copper-plated zinc to a steel core. This makes the coin magnetic, a fun and easy way to test its authenticity. If a magnet picks it up, you likely have a post-2000 steel core penny, including the 2005 version. When it comes to weight and diameter, the 2005 Canadian 1 cent weighs 2.35 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. It has a smooth edge, and its round shape makes it visually and physically consistent with earlier versions, though the metal content has changed. So, is the 2005 Canadian penny valuable? That's the million-dollar question, or in this case, the 1 cent question. Most 2005 Canadian 1 cent coins that were circulated are common and hold minimal value, usually face value or slightly more if they are in decent condition. However, coin collectors often seek uncirculated, mint state, or proof-like versions of this coin. Coins that have never been used, and show no signs of wear or handling, are more desirable and can fetch a few dollars or more, depending on their condition. There's also some interest in errors and varieties. Like many coins produced in large quantities, the 2005 Canadian penny may have been subject to occasional minting errors. These can include die cracks, off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, or planchette flaws. If you come across one of these error coins, you might be holding a much more valuable version of the 2005 penny. It's always worth checking your coins under magnification. Another thing to look out for is the brilliant uncirculated or proof-like versions from mint sets. These coins are struck with specially polished dies and are intended for collectors. They are usually much shinier, with mirror-like surfaces and very sharp details. If you come across a 2005 Canadian 1-cent coin that looks unusually clean and sharp, it could be from a Royal Canadian Mint collector set, and that adds to its value. Let's talk a bit about the mintage. The Royal Canadian Mint produced a very large number of 2005 pennies, over 759 million. That's a huge number, and it means that most of these coins are extremely common in circulation. However, as more and more people hoard pennies or discard them, and especially since Canada stopped minting the penny in 2012, these coins are slowly disappearing from daily use. That's right, Canada officially discontinued the 1-cent coin in 2012. So the 2005 Canadian penny is now part of history. Although it's not the last year of issue, it's one of the last few years where production numbers were still very high, and the penny was still in active circulation. For collectors, the year 2005 can still hold interest due to its design elements, metal composition, and potential mint errors. If you're building a penny collection from every year, the 2005 coin is a necessary part of your timeline. Some collectors also build sets of Queen Elizabeth II coins, and the 2005 version featuring the newer portrait plays a key role in that collection. You might be wondering, can the 2005 Canadian 1-cent coin be sold online? Absolutely. While individual circulated coins don't sell for much, you'll find many listings on platforms like eBay or coin forums where people are selling bulk lots, uncirculated rolls, or error coins. If you happen to have a full roll of uncirculated 2005 pennies, especially sealed from the mint, collectors may pay a premium for those. Now let's talk about preservation. If you own a nice-looking 2005 Canadian penny, you should store it properly to retain its quality. Use coin flips, capsules, or albums to keep your coins away from moisture, dust, and oils from your fingers. Never clean a coin, especially with chemicals, because cleaning can drastically reduce its numismatic value. In terms of popularity, the 2005 Canadian 1-cent coin is often overlooked due to its high mintage, but it has become more appreciated over the years. As more people get into the hobby of coin collecting, even common coins like the 2005 penny are getting more attention, especially when they're in good condition. It's also a great coin for beginners. If you're just starting your coin collection and want to focus on Canadian pennies, the 2005 coin is an easy one to find, study, and compare to other years. By examining things like mint marks, die wear, and surface luster, you'll develop a trained eye for spotting differences and possible errors. For those of you watching this video and wondering what to do with your stash of old Canadian pennies, start sorting them. Check every 2005 penny carefully for any abnormalities. If you spot something unusual, compare it to standard examples online or in coin reference books. Even though Canada phased out the penny, collectors around the world still value Canadian coinage for its beauty, historical relevance, and potential investment opportunity. The 2005 Canadian 1-cent coin remains a classic example of modern Canadian minting, combining tradition with evolving designs and materials. Before we wrap up, let's recap. The 2005 Canadian penny features the newer portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Susanna Blunt and the classic maple leaf design by G.E. Kruger Gray. It's made of steel with a copper plating, has a massive mintage of over 759 million coins, and while common, it can be valuable in uncirculated or error conditions. It is part of a now discontinued denomination, making it a piece of Canadian monetary history.